So let's get started straight off. And so with further ado, I'm giving the floor to lighting designer Isabelle Corten from the agency Radiance35, who's going to be telling us about creative light in difficult times.
Okay. So I'm very glad to be here with you, even at distance, and to open this session of Pechakusha with some themes that are I'm very concerned about it. So I will explain how I have done this project and why I have done it. For people that doesn't know me, maybe it's very special why I'm so interested in social light and why I begin in working in light. Well, you know that life is made about crucial encounters and crucial moments. And in my case, my first crucial encounters are my fathers, because there are two both sociologists. So, well, maybe it explains. And then also I was in 1996 in a conference in Paris, a conference headed by Roger Narboni, and I discovered that light could change something for people in exclusion moment. So I decided to do my thesis of urbanism. And then I meet also two very important people in my life that are Joran Linder and Elettra Bordonaro of the social light movement that we found together. And so, I begin to work in this social light. Then also, when you see this picture, you see that, this terrible light, and that you can change something with some little change. It's not very big issue, but you can change it. And most of all, what is important is that the people that live there and understand them, talk with them, and to share and to find a way to change by night some part of their lives. So I begin to think, how to change the night of these forgotten places, what tools to use. I think that creative lights could change something in this neighborhood, and I would to share with you some experience that I had in a very known district in Brussels. It's called Molenbeek, and it was a project in 2016. It was a project that we've done with architects to base on one street that linked the old center of Molenbeek in a new industrial neighborhood that was more different people that work there. So we tried to link with some light the old center with the new center. So how we do that? We work first with the public lighting with a lower level and a lower high. And then we try to create also some steps with light, with some walls lighted, or with gobo, or with traditional hand lighted. But more for us important is the process, the participative process that we try to create it with the people who live there. And we have some tools for that. We have 3 tools in Radiance35. And for Molenbeek, we used 2 of these tools. The first one was in the beginning, exploratory walk. And then the second one that we used in this project was the guerilla lighting. So I will explain. But the context was not very easy because it was in 2016 and it was just in the middle of these terrible attacks in Brussels. And so, you can imagine organized participatory tools called guerrilla lighting in a neighborhood like Molenbeek was very tough. So we worked to convince the police to do that, and only we succeed. But to be sure, not to shock or not to be too hard In this time, we changed the name of the guerrilla lighting for this project, and we called it very softly light happening. And we work in 4 places in the street. And what is also important here in this guerrilla lighting, I think you know everyone the guerrilla lighting tools, but in that case it was used like a teaser for the project, for the works, for the realization. So we use some aesthetic tools that are related to the project. So it's not a very impressive guerrilla lighting, but it gives the tools for the people that can imagine how it can be later. So the guerrilla lighting, well, it's, as you know, is going out there with some torches, disco balls, filters of colors, and then go on the site. Then it was very interesting also because with this period, very difficult. In the beginning, there was not very more people, but when we were on the street, people come, and it was very interesting to work with them. So because the project was in some crush of street, so we use also this place. So you see here that it's very soft guerrilla lighting, but you will see later the tools of the project to explain to the people how it could be later. So we use some projections, disco balls, colors, and it was very great experience. So we finished with the tools of light painting, and you see that it was almost 20 or 15 people, but it was very, very interesting that we succeed to do it in this neighborhood. And then you see the result, the project that we've done after. On the left, you have the church that is in the center of Molenbeek, and then you have a school, and then projection that we've done with some trees, because it's a neighborhood without not lot of trees, so we try to do it. Then you see other details of trees projection, and then you see also the industrial cultural center that is at the end of the street. And so I like to end this presentation with this sentence of Nelson Mandela, because I think it's very, very important to think that it always seems impossible until it's done. And in this case, I think this sentence is very real. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Isabelle, for this presentation and this hopeful project, which is very, very important today. I see that we already have a question in the chat box from Heike from Hamburg, who asks if you have also done a kind of evaluation with people from Molenbeek.
Yes, in a way, it was not very organized like evaluation after, but we had the opportunity, because we still work in Molenbeek in other projects, and so we had the opportunity to do another night walking, and then we go in these streets also with people, and so we begin to share with them how they feel the new street and the new neighborhood. So it was very interesting that while the people think that even if, because you know in this neighborhood the budget is very low, it's always the same, and so with this little point of light, people feel a little bit better. I know that light cannot change everything, but they feel a little bit better, so I think it's good.
And the best way of knowing that is also just being out there with them in the streets and asking them how they feel and experience things.
Yeah.
I see we also have another question from Ricardo, who asks how you managed the project and if it was a proper proposal to the city.
Yes, Molenbeek in Brussels, you have 19 districts, and every district is own government in a way. So we won this project with the architects, and we suggest to do 2 participatory tools with the guerrilla lighting. And so it was our proposal, but after all, the city, well, the city of Molenbeek, they call it the commune of Molenbeek, were very happy to have done that, because they didn't understand very well how it was useful or not. But then after, and even more in that context, they understand that it was very important to involve the population in this process.
Okay, and I see that we also have another question, a little bit more specific from Heike, about who took part, if in terms of the population, if it was more female, youth, older males, or what was the profile of the people?
Well, in this guerrilla lighting, it was very, in a way, specific, because we have done a lot more. In this case, it was more young male, and it was, well, some women, but more some young people that was around the street, and they saw us, and they come, and so it was younger than in other neighborhoods, for example, and male more.
Okay, and do you know why that is? I mean,
well, that is a neighborhood that you see more male on street than women. That is the first, because in the guerrilla lighting, this guerrilla lighting, the female were only the female of the city. But on the street at night in this neighborhood, well, it's you don't see a lot of women. So, well, it was for that reason, I think.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we'll have to stop here, but we have an interesting question from Heike, which maybe you could take on later, or get in touch with her directly to see how you can integrate women into night and lighting projects, which is a very interesting question. And I'm sure that a lot of people do ask these kind of issues when they're trying to plan a lighting project. But we will, for now, move on, I think, to the next presentation. So thank you very much, Isabelle.
Thank you.
For this very interesting project, and I hope you can continue the conversations with everyone as well in the networking and in the chat box.